Hi folks, we're at our Idaho office again, and I'll ask my beautiful camera woman to pan around, just show you where we're located. Pan around means around, there. So, camera woman, come hither. Today we're going to talk about what makes a hunting rifle versus a stopping rifle for dangerous game. So I just pulled a few out of the vault. If you've seen the video of our vault, I've got hundreds to choose from. These are all guns that I've used fairly extensively. I killed lots of animals with them. So I want to start with the differences between hunting and stopping. When you're hunting, the animal hopefully doesn't even know you're there. You're sneaking up on them. You have lots of time to pick your shot and put that bullet exactly where you want that bullet. I still chuckle about the very first Cape buffalo I ever killed. My PH kept going, shoot him right through the shoulder. And I was laughing inside my own brain when he said it, because the buffalo was broadside. He was 70, 80 yards away. He was looking right at me, had his head turned looking at me, but he had a leg that was forward. The leg facing me on his side was forward. I could see his heart right there. I just shot him in the heart. I didn't shoot him in the shoulder, because I've killed so many animals. You take away their blood supply, they are done. Sure, they may run, up to 100 yards, probably not that far. But that's what hunting is. You pick your shot. You have lots of time, usually, if the animal doesn't know you're there. So a hunting rifle, show you why this is a hunting rifle. This is my favorite African hunting rifle. It's a 416 Rigby made by Verney Carone. Beautiful rifle, and it just happens to shoot the tiniest little groups. And it's rugged, controlled round feed, a German Prechtel action, the same ones that are on the Mauser 98s. In fact, I would guess that Mauser barrels these actions for Verney Carone and ships them to Verney Carone. But on a hunting rifle, often you'll see optics. So I can shoot 200 and 300 and 400 yards. I need the precision of a scope. That's hunting. Stopping, on the other hand, is you've got a charging animal. He's very close. So your sighting systems need to be different. In fact, on a stopping rifle, you don't want a scope, because if you have to shoot something at 20 yards that's closing the distance on you at a very rapid rate, maybe take him a second and a half to close 25 yards before you're dead. You want a fast sighting system, not a scope. You want big open sights, or like shotguns make a great stopping rifle if they're 3-inch Magnum, and if you're using Brennecke Black Magic 660 grains, hard slugs. A 12 gauge is 72 caliber, okay? And if you get a heavy enough, hard enough slug, they're a great stopper. I wouldn't use them for things like elephant or rhino, but I'd certainly use them on Cape buffalo and grizzly bear, no problem. But talk about fast sights, there isn't even a rear sight. There's just a front bead. Well, I'm good out to 100 yards with a front bead and shotgun slugs. And the light might just be something you want on a stopping gun, especially in low light around camp or whatever. So the differences are your sighting systems, your quickness of use. This is a 30-06 that I've had here I've had it many years and killed a lot of stuff with it. It's a hunting rifle, it's not a stopping rifle. Frankly, I want more than an .06 if I'm gonna stop grizzly bears, big ones. but I can sure get it done with an .6, especially if I'm hunting. The bear doesn't even know I'm there most of the time, hopefully, and I just take them through both lungs or through the heart. Game over. Another typical hunting rifle I would use, I keep this one in the lower 48. This is a 375 H&H. It's an old Dakota Model 76. Very similar action to a pre-64 Winchester. I always have it around in the States because I like using it. So these are examples of 3 hunting rifles. By the way, all 3 of these are controlled round feed actions. One's a Dakota, one's a Winchester action, and one's a Mauser, German Prechtel action. And in other videos, I've covered controlled round feed versus push feed, which you can easily find. So hunting rifles generally will have optics, not always, and are generally just for sneaking up on an animal and killing them. Stopping rifles are for those times when you screwed up your first hunting shot. And we get this in Africa a lot. Stopping rifles are generally open-sighted because they're much faster, generally easier to carry, short barrels, they handle well in the brush. I'm getting rust on this rifle. This rifle I have carried for years and years and years and years. It's a 45-70 Marlin, and I don't even know how many animals I've killed with it. I've carried it more as a stopper when I'm out in the summers, kicking around on my horses or hiking. I like it because with buffalo boar full powered ammo in that thing, it just absolutely clobbers bears. And I've killed a lot of black bears with it. Here's another example of a stopping rifle for North America, for big bears or moose. It's a smaller cartridge than I like for Africa. It's a 9.3 by 62. Now everybody thinks that's a big whopping cartridge. Well, that stuff's all relative. But again, you'll see controlled round feed action, 3-position safety, aperture sight. The aperture sight, the rear sight used to be here, but by moving the aperture sight back here, I almost double my sight radius for precision. The longer the sight radius, the more precise you can be. And the big aperture is fast. Now, I hunt with this rifle from time to time as well, just because I like it. It weighs 6.5 pounds. It's handy. It's very powerful by North America standards. I also use it a lot just hiking around in the summers in case I have to dispatch a grizzly, because we have grizzlies right out there, which the federal government protects, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a good reason to shoot them. Federal government has no business telling me I have to live with grizzlies. This stopping rifle, also one that I've used quite a bit in Africa, is a 577 Nitro Express. And again, big, fast, handy sights. I mean, for a stopping rifle, you're not ever using them past 50 yards. Sometimes I hunt with this gun as well, just because I think doubles are fun. And I have, I've made shots out to 120 yards on buffalo and stuff with this just to do it. So you can hunt with your stopping rifles, and you can stop with your hunting rifles, but it's different dynamics. These are made just for stopping more than they are for hunting, and that's what I use them for. I do want to talk about one thing that really matters. If you have to stop with your scoped rifle, which I got into probably once, maybe twice with this rifle on buffalo, where a poor shot was made and I'm just there hunting, and now I'm going to have to deal with potentially charging buffalo. I want to show you something, and I unloaded this. I just got to double check. If you're If you're a pool player, an extensive pool player, you can understand this. In a charge, and my wife saw me do this one time, my little camera woman wife right here saw me do this on a bear she wounded. At close range, I can look down the side of the barrel. I don't need to waste my time on that scope. And I can put the bullet, like in a Coke can every time at 25 yards. I wasn't born being able to do that. I purposely, from the time I was a young boy, started with 22s, looking down the barrel, not through the sights. And I advocate using your sights, believe me. I'm just talking about using a hunting rifle for stopping. If you find yourself in that position, look down the barrel. And you can, like I said, it's angles. And if you play a lot of pool, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you shoot a lot of skeet or trap, you know what I'm talking about. You don't always use the sights doing that either. You learn to point. I don't advocate that unless you're an expert at it. If you're not an expert at it, you can become one. You buy a 22 that shoots cheap ammo, you mount a scope on it, just like your hunting rifle, and you learn, not looking down the scope, but looking down the barrel, you learn to get a feeling for where that bullet's gonna go. And you just keep doing it until you're very, very good at it. It's a form of aiming without using your sighting systems that are on the gun. It's worth learning. It's fun anyway. I mean, it's just fun to get out there, shoot with a 22 until you can do it. Then you pick up your 30-06 and try it with your 30-06 and see what you really learned about angles looking down a barrel. The first time I was ever taught or told about looking down a barrel and stopping a charging animal was with Kenny Schoonover, who was born and raised in Hoona, Alaska, who became a master guide at 21 years of age. And Kenny liked to hunt big Alaska brown bears. And I was hunting with Kenny, and I was in my 20s, and Kenny was telling me about different bear charges he'd been involved in. And I said, well, how do you know you're gonna hit them right between the eyes or right in the face when they're charging? They're coming through brush and you've got a scope rifle. He goes, oh, I don't use my scope. He said, I look down the side of the barrel and I wait till they're close. He said, if I shoot them any closer or any further away than 10 or 15 feet, I can miss their head looking down the side of the barrel. And then he went on to tell me multiple stories about hitting bears in the face. And even if you miss their brain, it usually disorients them, knocks them down, buys you time to put a second shot into them, and then it's game over. So these are just little things I talk about because in a lifetime of killing big animals, these are things I've learned. You can use your hunting rifle for stopping. It's not ideal. And you can use your stopping rifle for hunting, which again, due to the rudimentary sights, is not ideal. But you can do both. However, if you want to just stop like professional hunters in Africa, they carry stopping rifles. They're not interested in hunting. They're interested in saving your skin when that elephant charges or that rhino charges or that lion charges. And I've seen enough charges in my lifetime. I've been the subject of charges that when everything starts going downhill very quickly, I want a stopping rifle, and the bigger the better as far as I'm concerned. If you can put that bullet where it belongs, you don't need big, but try doing that on a charging buffalo. You ever seen a Cape buffalo charge? Their head bobs up and down. Well, good luck hitting them in the brain. So if you've got a big stopping rifle and you hit him in the face, the bullet smashes through his face, disorients him, goes into his body, maybe he goes down through his neck and breaks his spine, whatever. But you want big to stop charges. I noticed that Mark Sullivan, who I hunted with, who's the king of stopping charges, that's what he does too. He just waits for them to get very, very, very close. He's got big open-sighted double rifles and he shoots them in the face. It's a pretty sure thing. So again, our motto, shit has to work, I talk to you about these nuances because I want shit to work for you. I don't talk about, you know, what a wonderful rifle a Winchester is versus a Dakota versus a Verney Corone. That's a given. I'm not even, I'm talking about tactics. I'm talking about principles. I'm talking about shit that works. I'm not advertising specific guns. Half these guns aren't even made anymore. Anyway, we want you to be safe and happy and have fun in the outdoors. Now you know the differences between the dynamics of a stopping rifle versus the dynamics of a hunting rifle. God bless you. I hope you just have a wonderful day and stay safe, have fun in the outdoors, and we'll see you in the next video.